Hi, this is Chef and Builder Janie Pendleton, and today we are going to be canning pork and beans. This awesome pork loin roast on sale for $6, and that's a good price right now for pork. Got a slab of bacon for about $4, or excuse me, about $2.50 I think for this one on sale, because that was on sale. We got some nice dark brown sugar, which is going to be great for our pork and beans. Some grandmother's molasses, some ketchup, or ketchup, and a couple of large cans of tomato sauce. These are the 29-ounce cans of tomato sauce, a couple of onions, and a whole lot of canning jars, because folks, I have over because you can see this, I have over 12 quarts of navy beans. Now these have been soaking overnight, and you just want to make it so that the shells are kind of soft on them. They're going to finish cooking. They're still kind of hard. They've been soaking overnight and they've swelled up to almost twice their size. You just want to be sure that the beans are covered in the water, okay? All right, now I'm going to take them, I'm going to rinse these really well, recover these in water, and I'm going to take them over here to the stove, and I'm going to simmer them on a medium-low heat for probably maybe 20 minutes, 15-20 minutes. Then I'm going to rinse them again, put them back in hot water, and I'm going to cook them again. Then our beans will be ready. And meanwhile, I'm going to take you over and I'm going to show you how I'm going to make the sauce. Now, I'm figuring this is probably going to make anywhere from 14 to 18 pints. If you do beans, you want to do a small mouth jar, that's fine. You can do wide mouth, but you know, there's the pork in it's going to be pretty small, so this will dump right out. So a quart jar in the small mouth, that's fine. And you want to process these at 10 pounds of pressure in the pressure canner for about 90 minutes. We're going to can these because they do have meat in them. Now, if you don't put any meat in these, you'll have to look up the blue book canning book on that. You might even be able to water bath can these. I'm not sure. I'm only telling you from my recipe, it does contain pork, and therefore we're going for 90 minutes. And that's for 1,000 feet altitude or below. If you're above that, just put on your 15 pounds of pressure, your extra little disc, and go for the same 90 minutes, okay? But this is for us. We're in flat old Indiana, central Indiana. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to rinse my beans. You do not want to save the water in this, okay? You don't want to do that. Just dump it out. Can you even see this? I don't even know. Okay. So we do not want to keep the water in the beans. Oopsie. And we're just going to transfer from pot to pot here just real quick. Just going to keep them rinsed like this. We're going to take these. Throw them into this pot for now. Just so we get all these rinsed. Then we're going to wash out the pan with the soap. Now, wash out our pan. Get any impurities out of the pan. Remember, we want a very sterile, very clean thing. This also gives us another chance to inspect the beans. Remember, keep the beans covered in water. Just enough water to cover. I'm going to go through here. I'm going to look again. A lot of the impurities will float to the top. That's a good thing. All the shell casings. Kind of look for anything or anything that shouldn't be there, any stones, rocks, bad beans, anything like that. I went through it a couple of times yesterday. But there's a lot of beans here. These was three bags of beans, okay? And then they were only up to here, and last night they swelled up double their size, and they're not even done swelling. I mean, they're still hard in the cake. I'm just gonna put in just a little bit of candy salt in this, about a half a teaspoon. I'll blend that in there just a little bit. Now I'm gonna take this over, and I'm just gonna sit this on the stove. I'm gonna wipe the bottom of it off first here, and on an old rag here. And again, get rid of any impurities or anything you don't want. Now this right here is about 10 to 12 quarts of beans, just right here, and just the beans. So I'm going to have to make a lot of sauce. So this pan right here will not be big enough for sauce, so I'm going to have to break out my largest pan for the sauce. And you're going to see my big baby in just a minute. Now you want to clean your strainer really, really well, because you're going to use it again here in just a minute. And the Navy gets the gravy, but the Army gets the beans. Beans, 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 beans. There's my husband, Mr. Army Man. Beans, 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 beans. We're just filling the canner up. This is going to run for 90 minutes. So I'm going to put extra water in here. I want to make sure that this water comes up at least 3/4 of the way up these jars. See? So with all the jars in here, I should have enough water to come up at least 3/4 of the way up the jars. And I'm using sterile jars too, by the way. I'm getting ready to sterilize these. I've got to sterilize, I'll wash them all, and then I'll run them through my sterilizer into the dishwasher. My dishwasher has a sterilizer on it. It's worth its weight in gold, my dishwasher was. If you don't have that, then just sterilize them in the oven, or actually sterilize them in a water steam bath on the stove top. You can keep them hot and sterilized in the oven, but you still want to go ahead and boil them really well. Don't ever sterilize in the oven. A surgeon would tell you that. My husband's in the medical field, he'll tell you not to do it that way. Okay? Don't forget your dollop of vinegar, because we got to keep the jars clean. I'm going to put a little bit extra in there. And I'm going to take this over and start warming this up on the stove as well. Now here we just placed all of our lids and rings into a water bath, enough to cover all the lids at least. And then we've got a few wide mouths here as well, and we're just going to put these. Remember, don't forget to sterilize all your equipment. Very important. Jars are sterilizing right here in the dishwasher. So I just, so you can hear me, I had to unlock that for just a second. I've got 2 whole red onions here, chopped fairly fine, and are ready to go. I just hand chop these. You can use a food processor if you'd like. Got a little bit of red pepper on there, and you can put some jalapeno pepper in this too if you'd like, or some red pepper flakes. That's fine. If you want a little heat to your pork and beans, that's fine. And I've just got a different cutting board for each type of meat that I use. This is my pork cutting board. It shows a picture of a fish, but it's my pork cutting board. And we're just going to take that, and we're just going to cut this in about 5/8 of an inch slices. Again, that's just about 5/8 of an inch slices there. And this stuff isn't frozen, it's a little gooey to handle here. We're just going to break it apart and make sure that there's no stringy pieces. Okay, that's perfect. And here we have our boneless pork loin roast, and this is about 3.5 pounds here, 3¼ to 3.5 pounds. I'm just cutting through the fat on this. You can keep the fat on this, you can take the fat off of it. It really doesn't matter. Let me do this over the sink. Just going to rinse this off a little bit. My birds are having a field day in here to smell this meat. They don't know what to think. Okay. Wipe that down just a little bit with the Clorox wipe. Just because it's me. Now when I cut this off, when I cut through the package like that, I did that so that I would have a handle right here to hang on to it. See my little handle here? I can just hang on to it like that right there. Or I can take this end right here and I can hang on to it just like that right there. See my little finger going through? Okay, that's the original hooks where they hooked it anyway. So my future son-in-law worked in a packer's plant up there where they packed pork. and he would slide on this bacon grease all day long. And believe it or not, I don't eat bacon bits anymore because I found out that the bacon bits were the little pieces they picked up off the floor that everybody was walking on. I know they fry them, and I know they're sterile, and I know they use every part, and that's good, but I just haven't been able to put bacon bits on a salad ever since he told me that. Huh. And I mean, we hunt and we cut things, but I just picture all these people and their shoes from their houses that they bring in. I mean, you know, I'm sorry, but that, no way, Okay, so now we're just going to take this pork loin. If you want, you can cut off this little bit of fat here. Let me get my fat rendering knife here. You can just kind of cut that off if you want to. But I mean, your fat, that's what gives it flavor, so I'm not going to cut it all off. There we go. Now I'm under it. There we go. Don't take the meat with the fat. I need my butchering knife with me. I'm going to do the same with this one. There we go. Now I'm up underneath of it. There we go. Oops. Watch your fingers. Did I cut myself? No, I didn't. Scared you, didn't I? I scared myself. Okay. Now, this one right here. This one now. There we go. Now we're just going to cut our pork into about, half-inch strips like that right there. And then we're going to cube it just like that. You can put it in bigger pieces if you like. This is just how I like it. And we're just going to keep going like that. I'll see you back here when I'm done. Cut with the grain and then cross grain. Remember, this is pork, so you want to clean your surfaces in here before you can. You want to clean everything really good because right here on your handling they're all meat. Okay, the beans are just about cooked through. We've got them on simmer. Just make sure you keep the water above the level of the beans. Make sure the beans are submerged. Okay, and here we have just a little bit of olive oil. I'm going to turn on the heat. Okay, just throw in a couple. When they start sizzling, then you know you're ready. Throw in your onions, and you just want to caramelize these. They'll be transparent. And we'll be back when we've got our 2 red chopped onions. Remember, that's 2 red chopped onions caramelized. While our onions are cooking, go ahead and rinse these beans off. They've been cooking for about 4 hours. Rinsing them really well. Keep it on hot water. We don't want to cool these off. We want to keep them hot. We are hot packing. Basket will only hold so much. Transfer this into the pan. The bottom ones were getting a little bit too cooked. Ooh, there we go. Try this again. Just kind of helps stop the cooking process as well. And you can see here that our onions are nice and caramelized. And we're just going to kind of throw in a few onions as we put them back in the pan. A little at a time. Stir it up here just a little bit. just kind of helps distribute the onions throughout the beans. Put the rest of those onions in. Give that a toss, and we're going to set this aside while we make the sauce. It smells good already, and I haven't even made the sauce yet. We're just going to set these aside, making sure the burner's off. We don't want to burn the bottom of this. Now, in the same pan, we left just a few of the onions and the tidbits in here. That's fine. We're not going to add any oil or anything, but we're going to go ahead and we're going to cook. We're going to go ahead and cook the pork, I think, first here. Let's see, I think. No, I'll cook the bacon first. There we go. Now, you don't want this to be cooked up till it's crispy. You just want this cooked up till it's cooked through. It'll still be soft. And I left a few tidbits of the bacon here on the pork loin itself. There we go. Remember, you want to cook this on a low. We're going to cover that up to kind of keep the moisture in. Okay, just kind of separate these up. Remember, this will cook further in the canning process. Just got my slotted spoon. I'm just going to be really, really gentle here. We're not going to put in too much of that bacon fat, just a little bit. I like the taste of the bacon fat, but we can save our bacon fat for our canned green beans. That will be delicious. You're going to really, really like this. This is my recipe for pork and beans. You see the extra fat in there? We'll put just a little bit. Just a little bit into here. That will kind of help flavor it up just a little bit. Me likey. Okay, I kept just a shimmer of the bacon fat in here. You can see that just a little bit. Now we're going to put in our pork loin that we have diced into small pieces here. See that? Small cubes. And we don't want to get this too hot. We're not going to cook this completely all the way through either. Just like the bacon, we're just going to get a nice searing on it. Okay, we're just going to put a nice seared edge on all sides of this, best we can. Like I said, don't cook it all the way through. It's going to can for 90 minutes. It will be fine. Okay, see this big pot? That thing is huge, okay? I'm lucky. I got a big stove. Plus I got supper going. Got the lids back here for the large lids. We got the small lids. I guess this is the, small and large. So I kind of mixed them up, but okay. And then you can see right here, there's the beans just waiting. I put a little bit of that bacon fat on top. This right here is the container we're going to make, the big stock pot we're going to make the sauce in just a minute. We're going to add this to the bacon in the big stock pot, and we'll be right back. Okay, so this is not quite cooked all the way through. It's probably a couple pieces are still pink in here, and that's fine. I'm going to go ahead and shut that off for a minute, and we're going to add this to our big pot with the bacon on it. Isn't that beautiful? Add that into the bacon. Okay, now we're just blending the pork and the bacon together. Okay, the cranberry black cherry juice, I'm just going to add about a half a cup of that. I'll show that to you one more time. I'm going to add some chicken stock. Well, that's about a cup. Still frozen, that's fine. Get my heat back on here. Then here I'm going to add 2 things of my tomato sauce, 29 ounces. We're going to both going in here. It's going to be delicious. I'll rinse these out better in just a second. We're going to add about 4 tablespoons of yellow mustard. 1, 2, 3, and 4. This is not a science. We're going to add, probably about 4 to 5 tablespoons of dark molasses, of this rich molasses. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to go for 6. There we go. Probably about a pint of ketchup. Sometimes I measure out of a pint jar. I'm just going to put this whole thing in. Well, not quite all of it. That was almost a 44-ounce container of that. I'm going to add a couple of teaspoons of, we'll just add a tablespoon of powdered mustard. There we go. We're going to add some ground cloves. See that? I'm going to add about 2 teaspoons of ground cloves. That's what I like. You can add some allspice or whatever you like to that. Since we did can with pork, I am going to add a couple of teaspoons of salt. Just because there's pork in this and I am using canning salt. There you go. That was about a tablespoon's worth. Then here I have some cider vinegar. And I'm just going to add about 1/4 cup to start with. And I'm going to add that to taste. Okay, I'm just going to add some dark brown sugar here. This is about a cup's worth. And we're just going to adjust that here in just a minute, see where we're at. And here I have some ground cayenne pepper. Oops, that got everywhere. Give this a stir. That chicken stock is nice and melted, and this is all heated through with the bacon and the pork flavoring. And then we're going to see barbecue grill seasonings. Okay, we're just going to heat this through, see where we're at with the consistency. You can't can anything too thick, but that looks really good to me. Might have to add a little bit more chicken stock, but we'll wait and see when this chicken stock here is melted. See our big chunk of chicken stock here? Okay, I've went through and I've added 2 more tablespoons of mustard, the rest of the ketchup. I've rinsed out the tomato sauce jars, so I used a whole 44-ounce bottle of ketchup. And I put in another 1/2 cup of brown sugar. I put in another 1/8 cup of cider vinegar. And I put in a little bit more powdered mustard. Give that a stir. And I'm only doing this because I need to make enough of it. So now I'm up to 8 quarts of sauce. My daughter taste tested and she approved. So it's kid approved. Now you always want to get your tasting spoons. Oh, wow, that's really, really good. That's delicious. I'm going to go ahead and add some of the syrup because I want a real mapley flavor to it. I just want a nice maple flavor, so I'm going to put in probably maybe a 1/2 cup of maple syrup. I like that maple flavoring. Try that and see how that did. Got my big spatula out now. The coloring's right on this. If it's loose enough, the beans will thicken this up when we can it. It's going to get canned for 90 minutes at 10 pounds of pressure. Now we're going to take a clean spoon, dip way down in here, and give this a taste and see what we think. Oh my gosh, that's really, really good. Bingo. A little bit more maple flavoring, a little more brown sugar, and I think we've got it.
I know. You're snorting at me.
Okay, we're just going to grab a couple of sterile jars. We've got our lids here in sterile water. What we're going to do is we're going to put our beans down inside of our jar. These are pretty much swollen, so we can go about 2/3 of the way up. And then we're going to dip into liquid solution. There we go. This is where I need to. Leaving a 1-inch headspace. We'll take this piece and we're just going to try to get the bubbles out, just like this. Kind of stirring it up, mixing the beans in with it. Okay, that definitely needs more sauce. This has to be liquidy enough that it will can. So let's see how we're done here. I think we have too many beans in here. There you go. If you have to add a little bit of water, that's fine. A little bit of sterile water. You have to have it loose enough that when it cans, it won't blow those tops off. Just going to straighten this lid up here. I think I let my beans sit here. I made dinner. I think I let my beans sit here a little bit too long. Remember your little trick to do that. No, he's remember, finger tight. Isn't that beautiful? Now we're just going to put these over into the pressure canner. And we're just going to finish filling up the canner. Quite that many beans. This is very messy. Okay, then we're going to give it a stir. Mix the pork and the beans together there. Some more sauce. Still feels a little thick. Add some water. That's fine. Get it up to the fill line with sterile water. That's fine. Debubble. Clean the jar. That's what I hate about small mouths. When the beans too done, it's harder to. Don't worry about the rest of the jar, it'll be clean. No cracks or breaks. That's good. And I want a headspace. Okay. And there we go. We have another one. Beans. Bring it down just a little bit. It's not quite so thick. Oh, this is messy. This is so good. Oops. I'm sure there's only one on there. Make it tight. We're just going to keep filling up the canner, and we'll be right back. Okay, we're just going to place on our lid. Blew through here, made sure the steam was open. We're going to steam this for 10 minutes. This nipple should be up, and when it comes up, and this is steamed for 10 minutes, we're going to put on our 10-pound weight rocker. When this gets to jiggling, we're going to time this for 90 minutes. When that's done, we'll be back in 90 minutes. Now you can see here that the nipple is up. The rocker, the weight here is rocking. We've just adjusted this temperature, and we set the clock for 90 minutes, an hour and a half. We have 7 quarts in the canner. We have 7 quarts here and a 1.5 pint. So I think I should be able to slip this down inside there. We'll see. If not, then I'll just put this in the refrigerator and we'll have this. It's mostly sauce anyway. There wasn't a whole lot of beans left there, but that's still going to be delicious. We'll be back in an hour and a half. Okay, so the pin has dropped, and I was able to remove the weight. And I just undid this just enough to let the steam out. You want to be sure and open this away from you so you don't get burned. You can see all the steam coming off this. And we're just going to let this sit in its little cocoon with the lid half on like this for an additional 5 to 10 minutes. It's pretty cold out here because it's winter time. I think it's about 64 degrees in here right now. So I've turned the heat up to try to raise the temperature up to about 69 to 70 so I don't crack my jars because I still have another load to go tonight. And it's already 9:30. So we'll be back in about 10 minutes and I'll show you how this turned out. Okay, we're just going to start removing these. Make sure that you don't grab these by the lid right here. You want to be sure and get underneath that glass ring there. Give it a little tilt. Oh yeah, that looks really good. And there we go. Now, you're going to get some leakage down in there. That is fine.